The biggest mistake brands are making today in creator marketing is clean looking content because it's not relatable. It's not going to work. Now we have companies that I cannot even mention names of. Spend on influencer marketing has doubled, and 2027 is estimated something like 14 billion. I think what they're missing out is where the future is heading. We see a lot of successful brands doing it. They're not doing it, they're missing out. It's time to jump on it, because brands work with creators as sort of part of their marketing team. So the argument against it is that there are systems to help you in the process. Half of the influencer marketing budget in the US now goes to nano and micro influencer. So 40% of all the something else was partnership ads. Why? It's working. The biggest mistake brands are making today in creator marketing is overestimating the follower count of creators. Why am I saying that? About half of influencer marketing spend now goes to nano and micro creators. Why? Because it works. And still, it's quite a myth that follower count is super important, like, working with creators, like running partnership ads, and it's not. I think right now, 7 out of 10 people in the world are on social media. Just a few years ago, it was 5 out of 10. Gen Z are definitely jumping into it, and the most relatable content is just very simple creator-like content, and everyone is on social media, so that's why the brands are following. People don't really, in general terms, don't really appreciate this polished, super, clean-looking content anymore because it's not relatable. Social media algorithms now are built on these virality effects, and therefore everybody is following it. Everybody wants that, and the content that works is just like ordinary people, just like me and you talking, and so we can relate to them. So I think the brands are just following where people are going to get their eyeballs. I think the brands are not as strict on their tone of voice, and I think it's also adapting to the market. And what I mean by that is that if you want to work with creators and you tell them exactly what to say and what to do, and you push them into this sort of very polished type of content, it's not going to work. So I think back in the day when we started, 2020, we started working with dropshippers, very, very small companies, and now we have companies that I cannot even mention names of because of legal things. But the companies are getting bigger, and they are allowing creators to be themselves and help the brand to communicate their values, their product, through the eyes and the words of the creator. So the strict tone of voice, I think that is one of the essentials. But that's also following what the people want, especially on the likes of social media. We want to see very simple, as raw content as possible. Another thing, I think the spend on influencer marketing has doubled from 2022 to 2025. I think it was from 5 billion to 10 billion, and 2027 is estimated something like 14 billion. I think traditional advertising still works. We can't say it doesn't work. It's just that it's taking hits in different places, like linear TV. Yeah, it's kind of obvious, like it went down drastically how much of a share in the global spend it has. I think it in a span of last 5 years, it went down from like 40% to something like 12%. I'd have to double check the numbers, but I think it still works. It's just that digital businesses, e-commerce, they really now have to play the social game, and that's where the majority of spend goes. With that said, we cannot say traditional. And again, what is traditional? I don't know anymore. If I look at YouTube on, TV, some people consider it TV. Now others consider it as like connected TV, like CTV. So I think what's happening is just like, it's evolving, but the principles kind of remain the same. It's just the form that is changing. And a lot of it now, obviously, is social media. Just look at the numbers. Look at what credible sources are reporting, like eMarketer. Look what platforms like Meta is saying, where advertisers are getting like the most gains from. For example, like partnership ads is something that works very well. We see it like one of the most ordered extra services. An extra service means once you get a video from creator, you can ask them to do other things. And partnership ads is like 40% of all the orders like last month. So I think what they're missing out is where the future is heading. And where the future is heading, like, as creators are becoming sort of like a part of a brand marketing team. So we see a lot of successful brands doing it. So I think if they're not doing it, they're missing out. And especially like letting creators to see the way the brand is through their own eyes. Creator marketing versus traditional advertising, I think the main value point there is that, so in my eyes, there are creators who work with brands and they don't necessarily like the brand all the time, but if they click with a brand and vice versa, and if they really like the product, they sort of become like the team together. And if they work on sort of these long-term deals and this long-term partnership, that's where most of the value kicks in. Well, the brands that are present on social, if they're ignoring creator marketing, they are missing out on a lot of opportunities. With that said, you know, maybe there are some brands that have cracked the game with, I don't know, outdoor posters. I don't know, but it's just like, it's kind of like inevitable now, although I do get surprised still how many brands don't leverage creator marketing yet. It's quite weird, but they're missing out on a lot of gains, and I think the future as well. I remember back in 2020, actually before Billo, back in 2018, 2019, me and my co-founder Tadas, we were working on a micro influencer marketing company. So we were in the influencer space, and there was a lot of talks like, influencer marketing is over, that's it cannot be measured, blah, blah, this and that. Look where it is now. With creator marketing, we're still very early. So I think it's time to jump on it, like, because, you know, we worked with thousands of brands in the last 12 months. Why? Because it works. You want to just at least, you know, test it just a little bit and start working with the creators that, especially those who you can develop long-term partnership with. Because my guess is that the future looks like that brands work with creators as sort of part of their marketing team, and they speak their tone of voice, and it's best if they click with the product, click with the team, and sort of become like real users and ambassadors of the brand and the product. The strongest argument against creator marketing is that it's quite hard to predict the scale and sort of systemize it, which it is. Because, you know, starting from the very brief, the collaboration with the creator, choosing the creator by, you know, how do you choose one? How does the brief look like? How much of brand value does creator have to know? And all this stuff to the point where they create a video, and then to the point where you test the video and you need some feedback and there's some data involved, and, you know, it's a very hard to systemize process. You know, and I know it is. We've been solving this challenge for years now, and I think we're doing very well. So the argument against it is that there are systems to help you in the process. Obviously, we're not the only ones, but I think we're doing quite a good job in you know, from the very selection to the very brief to creators that are backed by data, to the whole cycle of creation to post-production to testing, getting the feedback, and then going again, and then doing that at scale. You know, that's why we've got like thousands of brands working with us in the last 12 months. So I think being present on social is a basic requirement. I still get surprised how brands are not leveraging creators still on social media. So I think it is a competitive advantage if you use it sort of systemized as a system that is backed by data, that has these processes that can let you scale working with creators. So yeah, once again, social presence is like the basic standard now, but creator marketing at scale is a competitive advantage. My prediction for the future, if brands don't start to realize that other people can definitely communicate their values, their product to other people, meaning like creators can communicate the values of brands and what the products are and why should others use them. If they miss out on it now, it could be harder to, sort of catch up with others when time comes. So, but then again, it shouldn't be looked as a one-off. It's like a separate stack. It's a separate line in the budget. And it's like a system to invest in, especially for like D2C brands, especially in presence on e-commerce, because the numbers of social media users worldwide is growing. 7 out of 10 people are on social right now. Just dwell on it for a moment. And there's practically there's no other way. We used to have this thing called multi-level marketing, right? Why it worked? Because people used to use this sort of word of mouth sort of approach and go to their relatives, their friends, and sell all this stuff. It still exists. I don't know at what scale, but I think with creators and sort of people going to work with brands, that's even better. Like, I mean, what better way to get convinced to buy something than from someone that you can relate to or someone you can trust? I don't think there's a better way. Probably isn't just for me. I think that's very human. The biggest myth is that the follower count is super important now, still, for the creators to work with. Half of the influencer marketing budget in the US now goes to nano and micro influencer, meaning like people with very small amount of followers. The magic there is that they're super relevant. They've got their niche. They've got something that they're very good at. So I think that's the future. I think the creators are going to get smaller and smaller, and niches will work. Even on partnership ads, like platforms like Meta. We're partners. There's no secret there. So in their performance marketing summit, all over the place, it was just like nano micro influencers, and using partnership ads with them because of even the performance metrics are looking really good. Even our own extra services in the last month. So extra services on Billo is like something, when you order a video from creator, you can ask them to do something else. So 40% of all the something else was partnership ads. Why? It's working. Yeah, so the misconception we believed in internally, that's maybe from like sort of the company point of view, although I think it's natural as well. We focused on the brand side more than we focused on the creator side, and we solved problems that just the brands were raising. Now what we're doing is we are solving the problems, but through sort of a creator eyes. Our North Star is basically jobs and jobs created for the creators, and now the shift that we have is that we're focused on creators, and we get them into decision making, and we're creating the best possible product together with them, including like the app for them, the platform for the brand. So it may sound simple, but it's so not simple. Like, it took us years to sort of realize that, okay, damn, creators are amazing. Like one of the heartwarming reasons and one of the main motivations that sort of drives me to show up at work every day, and except from an amazing team, is that we have creators who can change their lives, basically. Well, that's what they told us. I remember back in pandemic, some people said, thanks guys, we pay the bills, and it was just very heartwarming. So anyway, working with creators is amazing. They're all hustlers, entrepreneurs. 5 years from now, I think creator marketing will probably not even be at its peak, but it's gonna be all over. I think creators are gonna be a part of brand marketing teams, sort of like like partners. I think a lot of creators will start creating their own brands as well in the future, and they will leverage their whatever they've created for themselves. I think the further we go, the less people are sort of the further we go, the less people are skeptical about new brands, about, you know, a brand does not have to be super well established for people to trust, to try them, to buy them. So I think that barrier of, you know, very polished brand, very polished content is gonna lower even more. Although trust will probably remain one of the core things, especially with all the synthetic content coming out. Obviously the regulators, the platforms are now solving the problem of synthetic humans, you know, deep fakes. You know, I think all these AI avatars are deep fakes, as long as they're not disclosed and labeled. So the trust is going to be one of the main things for users to consider buying one brand product or the other. So, and I think creators will play a huge role in that. I want to say this will completely disappear, but I'm cautious. I think it's going to be much less of. So I think we will have a way to identify deepfakes on social media. So they will disappear to a certain extent. Now it's so hard to understand whether this person was real or not, which is, I think, is just, you know, faking. People are in their minds, but I think that's going to disappear. And I think those AI avatars and these very realistic looking figures are going to turn into like game and movie characters. People will know they're not real, but they'll follow them because there's a story, there's consistency, etc. And real people will be sort of diversified from the whole thing. I also believe that some social networks will make a stance and will champion this sort of change of diversifying what's fake and not real with real and authentic. You know, just like every technology and every wave and every way of doing things, it has early stages, has the maturity, and has some sort of a drop. I think in years from now, brands working with sort of real people will definitely be the standard because it's going that way. And that it's hard to believe that will not last. I think that's going to last for quite a long time. Smart brands stand out with sort of looking at the numbers, looking at the data, and finding themselves between the trends and what their unique tone is. I think that now, and probably was always like that, a way to grow is just learn, and when you want to learn, whether it be a lot of creatives, you just have to sort of test a lot and look for new ways to adapt to the changes. Also, with the whole AI scene, which I think there's like way more products being created than is actually needed, we still have to be very much in it, grow with everything, you know, that is related to AI, use it in everyday tools and our life, but be also cautious that we don't need too many products in our lives. We just need to differentiate what's essential and seek truth all the time. The brands, especially e-commerce brands that win in the next 5 years, will be those who will blend in creators and sort of systemize creator marketing into their teams and scale the content, scale the sales, scale the brand.
Amazing, thank you. It's a wrap.
High five.
Yay!